Electricity has become an essential point in our lives. Without it, we could not do things as elementary to life as we know it today. But did you know the way we produce electricity will affect the year 2100? Year in which experts say natural disasters will be triggered and they will have irreversible damages unless we do something today to stop them. If we want to know if an energy source is clean, we have to take a look to 5 main criteria. First, extraction. Second, process. Third, transport. Fourth, consumption. And fifth, waste treatment. If the energy source in question fails at any of this point, then it cannot be clean. Hydrocarbons and coal are the most widely used sources in the world. With them, we produce 88% of the electricity worldwide. But if we take a look into the previous criteria, we will find out they are not clean. So, it was the year of 1945 and the world had just gone through one of its worst wars in history. Mexico took advantage of this and began a period of modernization and industrialization, being the energy sector the one where it stood the most, thanks to oil fields located all across the country. But today, 75 years have passed and the energy and environmental requirements of the world have been changed. Oil powers like the United Arab Emirates have been investing money into renewable energies. Also, in April of this very year, the price per barrel of oil presented for the very first time in its history negative prices. And then, environmental awareness campaigns have been taking place all over the world. And what is going on with Mexico? Well, let me tell you that Mexico continues to bet large amounts of money in conventional sources. This, from the expert's point of view, it's a complete mistake as the American continent consumes 36% of the electricity produced globally, being the residential and commercial sector the most demanding. Therefore, this is not a topic where we can say, oh, it's because of the companies or oh, it's because of the government. No, this is a problem much closer to us than we expect. More specifically, in Mexico, the country produces 30% of its annual carbon dioxide emissions just by generating electricity. This not to say the wood combustion, which is a practice done in communities with no electricity access, being the wood burning one of the worst practices for the atmosphere. With this being said, now let me tell you that Mexico is the perfect place for generating electricity with clean energies, taking advantage of the sun, wind, tides, and subsoil energy all across the country. But nowadays, not even 5% of its potential is being exploited. Currently, Mexico has a total investment of $20 billion, where solar and wind energies are the most outstanding when it comes to renewable energies. Also, Mexico is part of an area called Earth Solar Belt, in which we find countries that receive the most solar radiation per year. Mexico, being the third country in this list, receives the equivalent of 20% the energy consumed in the country in 1 year. Mexico has enough infrastructure to give solar energy to more than half the households in the country. And according to the Energy Secretariat, this is equivalent to 4.3% of the total electricity generated in the country. When it comes to wind energy, we will find out that there are 2,800 wind turbines all across Mexico, and this is equivalent to 7.5% the electricity in a year. But there's a little bit of a problem, because like I just said earlier, the wind and solar energies are the most exploited in this country, but when we add it, they don't even get up to 12% of the electricity consumed in a year. Talking about geothermal energy in Mexico, we find out this way of production is in charge of CFE, even though this is a institution that prioritizes production with hydrocarbons. Nevertheless, Mexico has the fourth place in the world producing electricity with this method, this being a great and more solid proof of Mexico's big potential. Previously, this way of production was only of an environmental interest, targeting people concerned about global warming. But nowadays, thanks to technological advances on producing renewable energies, they have been even 600 times cheaper than hydrocarbons and coal. This has made renewable energies a great way of opposing inflation in the energy sector. The result is a win-win in both sides. On one side, we have that production costs in power plants will be lower, and in the other side, we have that the environment won't be seen threatened by greenhouse gases. This is why we should consider Mexico the sleeping giant of the renewable energy. And now I ask you, is it time to wake up?